Welcome to Bloodbath & Beyond. Today we review 420 Massacre. Inhale, exhale, scream.
Written and directed by Dylan Reynolds, starring Jamie Bernadette, Vanessa Rose Parker, Justine Watchberger, Marissa Pistone, Jim Storm, James Gregory, and Stacey Danger. This movie's about a group of 5 friends that go camping in the woods over 420 weekend to celebrate their friend's birthday, when they discover an illegal grow-op in the mountains and things get dicey. So what did we like?
We'll start off with, I'm a fan of slasher movies.
Right.
So I like when people go into the woods and just get hunted by some slasher.
Right.
It's a very straightforward story here. 5 girls go camping and somebody tries to kill them and or is successful in doing so.
Right, simple plot. The guy looked badass. He had the ghillie suit.
He
looked like Swamp Thing. Kind of. He was well hidden, so that's scary.
And yes, he was able to sneak up on and stalk women potentially because of his ghillie suit.
Right, yeah, that had to be why, because he moved around silently too. But he would just pop up, and then you get a knife in your throat.
And when knives went into throats, the kills were dope. They were all practical, which was really cool. Like, there's actually like lots of blood splatter. This one guy gets his like stomach slit open, and there's just intestines on the ground. And it's really cool.
And he's trying to like
put him in
like a war scene or something.
So the practical effects were really, really dope. Production value for an indie slasher seemed pretty solid. It was well shot. I thought everything looked pretty good. The camera work was good. Sometimes it's weird going into indie movies because you don't know if it's just going to be shaky cam.
Right.
Just because somebody can't competently shoot something. But in this one, we actually had like good cinematography.
I thought there was going to be a lot of twists. I thought I had it called a couple times. I thought I pegged it, and it just didn't work out the way that I thought it was going to.
I thought I nailed it. And so that's cool. Like, having a good whodunit is always fun because you're constantly guessing, especially if you're 420'd. It's 420 Massacre. You better be blazed when you're watching this movie.
Right.
It really helps.
Well, keep in mind, I don't normally blaze up this much. It just so happens to be a holiday.
Everybody blazed in that movie. Every single person.
That's true. So if you like watching people smoke weed, then you're going to enjoy this film.
Absolutely.
Our cast was pretty quality because they all had like different aspects to them. They were all their own characters. They all had different character development, so you kind of knew their backstory. Even though in a slasher, it's like, whatever. In most cases, you're just like,
Get to the slashing.
Get to the slashing. Yeah. But build her up just enough that I care about her. So when she dies, I'm a little sad.
Right.
But I don't need to know your whole fucking story. Right? Just give me some. And I think they were good at that.
I'd say the acting was actually pretty good in this film. Like, surprisingly good. Ranger Rick was like Clint Eastwood a lot.
He was.
Absolutely. But he did it well.
These aren't some stoned out, pass me the doobie hippie types. These are cold-blooded gangsters running a business, and the crops are the investment.
I like that there was no sleazy sex scenes and nudity in this movie. I don't like porn in my stories, and I don't like stories in my porn.
I like the stories in the porn. Anyway, I do generally love nudity. I just do, okay? Deal with it.
All right. Okay.
But I agree because just because this is like a female-driven cast and there are lesbians, nothing was like crazy.
Right, I thought it was going there, to be honest with you. When it started,
totally
I
thought
was
it was like,
oh man, and she's not wearing a bra, and she's smoking weed.
Things get crazy.
And here's it's coming, but it didn't, and that's great. I always lose a movie at that point. Like, what am I supposed to do right now? Like, am I supposed to just start?
Pull it out.
Is that what I'm supposed to do right now?
I generally do.
well, we were watching it together.
And so I couldn't refrain, watch it later.
All right, what do we dislike?
The main thing I noticed right off the bat is the color grading was a little bit off. Because it seemed like we were in a desert.
It did seem like that a lot at the beginning, and it seemed to seem like that less as the movie went on. So,
but I mean, like,
maybe it wasn't the movie.
No, I think they were in the desert.
I was with you. I thought it was in the desert at first, too.
And so, herein lies the problem. I think that the color grading wasn't great because, like, it was a little too desert-like. You can fix that in, like, bumping up the saturation.
Maybe they did. Maybe it was just the version that we got, actually.
That's true. About it. We did get an early screening, not a hundo on that.
I feel maybe there was a bit too much character development. It kind of started, losing me a little bit.
In most cases, when there's great character development, there's often too much of it.
Right.
It's like, it's a good thing to have, but sometimes it overstays its welcome.
It's to be fair, we were just kind of like having a ball and talking over it the whole time, so I'm not really sure.
I believe there is probably more comedy baked into that character development than we're giving this film credit for.
You're right, and that's our fault.
We weren't paying attention. Well, I really liked the practical effects, and I thought the kills were great. There was some weird CG stuff. I noticed a couple like stock CG blood splatters from some of the kills. It's just like additional blood, but I think maybe that just comes with the territory of watching these movies. I see the exact same spurt in many movies. But when it comes to visual effects, I think the most noticeable is definitely the smoke.
Yeah, and not in every scene, but just in like one in particular.
One scene really got to me. To the point where I'm talking about it in our dislike section.
Now it's time for our final thoughts and ratings.
420 Massacre was a fun time, especially if you're watching it with a buddy. It's like a really standard slasher. The story is not overcomplicated. We have 5 girls who did an excellent job acting, and they were fleshed out characters, and they're just gonna go into the forest and die. And they happen to be killed by somebody who smokes weed, and they're near some weed. The practical effects were dope, so everybody dying was awesome. Absolutely loved it. Unfortunately, there are some issues when it comes to CG stuff. Not like a ton, but like worth mentioning for sure. And we also did have some issues with like some of the color grading, like mainly post-production stuff. But I also understand that Dylan had some like problems with this movie. Don't want to get into it, but I think for the most part, this is a really fun movie, and I think you'll probably enjoy it. So I'm gonna give this 3.5 ICP shirts out of 5. Whoop whoop.
All right, overall, I'd have to say this was a great movie. The acting was really good, the kills were fantastic, good character development all around, and just a nice simple plot that would follow, and it was fun to watch. I'm gonna give this movie 4.5 little kid backpacks on a grown man out of 5.
As always, thank you for watching. Like this video and comment below with your thoughts on the film if you've seen it. If you haven't and you do want to check it out, there are links in the description where you can find it. If this is your first time here, make sure you subscribe to the channel, stay updated with everything Bloodbath and beyond.